Ooh, what's this? Difficult time for those who have lost. While I understand concerns for propriety and the general dressing of the bazaar, I must caution that release is needed. We are suffering not just ongoing civil conflict, pitting brother against sister, not just outright war pitting Templar against mage, not just the loss of our most holy and the best of our leaders. We are suffering all three as the sky is wounded for all to see. All we know of our world is threatened along with all we know of the next. With this most grave notation, I ask that the writs of losses and missing remain, that the citizens, however indirectly, be allowed to post their griefs of known dead and the names of hopefully living, and with them their criticisms of how they have been told or not told. For while I have no doubt we as Orlaisians will maintain our utmost composure, there must be release. There must be grief, there must be mourning. If we do not allow this simple expression, we risk a greater outburst. Let our people shed their tears in as reserved a means as necessary. The market will be cleared in due course, but this day, this time, we must let this simple expression stand. Written by Captain Albion, Orlaisian Guard, Summer Bazaar. Interesting. Okay, come on. The bend I go. And fishy, fishy, fishy. Reservoir, stocking evaluation, tremors, floating, taste is off, water, birds die off, restocking failed, fish not fit, do not consume. Fair enough. There we go, another red handkerchief. Let's see, with a folded around a key with a small hastily scrawl. Key lifted from drunk swearing about Harold. Don't know what door. I'm out. My debt is paid. Oh, we got another thing to read. If I can get around these barrels. Randy Dowager Quarterly. A waterlogged quarterly of suspect virtue. Randy Dowager welcomes the blooms of spring that collected Calipkian cuirassiers, being a scandalous representation of Her Majesty's favorite cotton. Flagrant delectable. Can their uniform modesty withstand the assault? The Randy Dowager exhibitions for the noble thought, but spry of step. Later self says hardly a Tethras, but generally arousing if polished cuirass does it for you. And it should 3 scarves fluttered in stock out of 5. RD. Farrah, get down from there, you'll fall. And I am not pulling you out of the moat. So where do I go from here? Also, how do I get to the second level? Got fast travel stuff, but other than that, I don't know. Nope, can't open this door. And she's still recovering, hey?
Maybe.
Alright. Some areas have multiple levels. Click the icons in the top right to view them. Okay, so that's what I'm supposed to do. Fair enough. Alright, so let's go here. Well, that was fast. Now that's what I call fast travel. What is this? Season of the Four Afoul. At this window, the thief Treadwell did witness the attempted assault of Lady Castine. He surrendered his chance for escape to catch and hold her assailant, a bard of Lord Haviling. Here a thief, foiled bard, and conspiring noble were all censured as per their station and relevant action. Lashings and labor disappeared and ostracized for the social seasons, respectively. The scandal played out far longer in the theatrically serialized adaptation, which reimagined the three as siblings separated at birth, competing for Lady Castine's hand at her orchestration. The conclusion was relatively accurate to the original event, save the punishment of the thief and noble being swapped to comic effect. Generally good reviews received, though some thought the height of the lady's hair to be unrealistic. Sword had been torn from a disposable walking toward the capital by Philium, a bard. Who is this Philium bard? Oop, my other red handkerchief. Maybe. There we go. Scrap parchment is hastily torn from an ornate document stuffed into its hiding space with a large red sock. And we are to obey well. We meet at 3 bells to discuss how best to serve the new way. Scrawled below in a misspelled script. Herald go at time, praise Andraste. Taken together, the message reveals a time, path, and a key to location on the world map. Interesting. Ooh, okay. If I jump down from this height, will I die? Most likely.
You had granted them power over the very Fade itself. Though they sang hymns of praise unending, though they could do anything, they destroyed nothing, created nothing, loved nothing.
Is this a shop?
I maintain a premises wherein customers of a certain affluence entertain the purchase of my ware. So yes, shop.
Very well. What do you have for sale?
I have one item available for purchase. It is far too expensive for it merely to be sold. You may gaze upon it and dream of the wealth required to possess it, as have lords and kings. And then you may leave and purchase things from shops more aligned with your station.
How do you stay in business? I was just about to ask that.
How do you keep the doors open on a shop with one item?
My shop is a destination. Luminaries of every description journey here to see what is denied to them. Some pay tribute, in the vain hope I will barter. They do not have the will to pay the price. They require a bargain to justify the spend, to ease their conscience. That would defeat the entirety of the purpose.
But what is it?
I can't see it. Tell me what it is.
If you have to ask, you are not the one to buy it.
I need to know if I can use it.
And again, the point is missed. If mere use is your concern, you should go elsewhere. The person who claims this will not be known for using it. They will be known because they paid for it.
So you sell one very expensive item, and it's worth it?
Let me now interrupt the inevitable defense of your thrift. I'm sure you have treasures, and you will have many more. You could parade them from here to Halam Shiral, but none of that would allow you to say you have purchased this. The item is irrelevant. The price is worth it.
Is this like the Emperor's New Clothes where you're just like selling nothing and people are stupid enough to buy it?
I don't see why this is special. Anyone can overprice something.
To overprice an item, the item must have a known value already. It is then priced over what it is worth. This has only the value I have set. It has never had another. It is not overpriced. It is priced.
Well, goodbye then.
Mind the flooring. It is not used to feet that have been subjected to soil.
Oh, sorry if I actually go out and do stuff while you sit in your little cushy house. A mystery box. 10,000. I am nowhere near enough for that. I bet you there's nothing in that box.
We'll handle this.
The Templars didn't even touch you.
Ooh.
If I might have a moment of your time.
Grand Enchanter Fiona?
Fiona?
Leader of the Mage Rebellion.
Is it not dangerous for you to be here?
I heard of this gathering, and I wanted to see the fabled Herald of Andraste with my own eyes. If it's help with the breach you seek, perhaps you should look among your fellow mages.
Oh, Fiona, I haven't even seen you before. She was so important in the calling. We never got to... we never heard anything about her afterwards, but... That's so awesome that they brought her in. We only ever heard about her in Dragon Age: The Calling and Asunder, so this is awesome. How come you weren't at the conclave? I'm glad
I'm
you weren't.
surprised the leader of the mages wasn't at the conclave.
Yes, you were supposed to be, and yet somehow you avoided death.
As did the Lord Seeker, you'll note. Both of us sent negotiators in our stead in case it was a trap. I won't pretend I'm not glad to live. I lost many dear friends that day. It disgusts me to think the Templars will get away with it. I'm hoping you won't let them.
You think the Templars did it?
So you think the Templars are responsible?
Why wouldn't she?
Lucius hardly seems broken up over his losses, if he's concerned about them at all. You heard him. You think he wouldn't happily kill the Divine to turn people against us? So yes, I think he did it. More than I think you did it, at any rate.
Huh. Will you help us?
Does that mean the mages will help us?
We are willing to discuss it with the Inquisition at least. Consider this an invitation to Redcliffe. Come, meet with the mages. An alliance could help us both, after all. I hope to see you there. Au revoir, my Lady Herald.
Nice to
Come.
meet you finally.
Let us return to Haven.
Fair enough. But that was interesting. No, she was incredibly important. She used to be a Grey Warden, actually. But she's actually the only Grey Warden now that doesn't have to go through her calling anymore because of what happened in the calling. So that's pretty cool. Glad they brought her in. Anyway, let me do this stuff first, I think. Let's go with the, let's go with this one first. And then I'll go and check out the other one. Because we need some more party members. Ooh, fancy. I am so underdressed for this.
Lady Lavellen, on behalf of the Inquisition.
Hi. You
What a
all look
pleasure to
stupid.
meet you, my lady. Seeing the same faces at every event becomes so tiresome.
How can you tell under the masks?
So you must be a guest of Madame de Fer. Or are you here for Duc Bastien?
Are you here on business? I have heard the most curious tales of you. I cannot imagine half of them are true.
Do you know of me?
What have you heard about me?
Some say that when the veil opened, Andraste herself delivered you from the Fade.
Well,
I'm not familiar with that name. I was invited here by First Enchanter Vivienne.
Madame de Fer is a fond nickname the court has given Lady Vivienne.
I've heard she finds it amusing.
okay, what about the Duke then?
I've heard very little about Duke Bastien.
He hasn't been seen much at court lately.
His business with the Council of Heralds often takes him from home for long periods. It can't be good for a man of his years.
And of course, there's the civil war. Bastien probably wishes to distance himself from the actions of his one-time son-in-law.
Tearing up the Dales in a foolish bid for power? It will end in disgrace for Gaspard. Everyone knows it.
Gaspard Dupuis? You mean that whiny little brat from 2 that was like, I gotta escape his circle so I can lose my virginity? Really? Or is that another character I'm thinking of? Although that scene was so funny with Varric and Isabella and Fenris. Oh, but it is so filthy. It is filthy. Anyway, I'm rambling. What have you heard of me?
Some of those storytellers may have gotten carried away.
But only for the best effect. The Inquisition is a ripe subject for wild tales.
The Inquisition. What a lot of pig shit. Washed up sisters and crazed seekers. No one can take them seriously.
Your hat I can't take seriously.
Everyone knows it's just an excuse for a bunch of political outcasts to grab power.
We're restoring peace.
The Inquisition is working to restore peace and order to Thedas.
Here comes the outsider, restoring peace with an army. We know what your Inquisition truly is. If you were a woman of honor, you'd step outside and answer the charges.
My dear Marquis, how unkind of you to use such language in my house to my guests.
He was frozen today.
You know such rudeness is intolerable.
Why you dress like Maleficent?
Madame Vivienne, I humbly beg your pardon.
You should. Whatever am I going to do with you, my dear? My lady, you're the wounded party in this unfortunate affair. What would you have me do with this foolish, foolish man?
Ooh, good question. Let him go.
I think the Marquis has seen the error of his ways.
By the grace of Andraste, you have your life, my dear. Do be more careful with it.
You better walk away.
I'm delighted you could attend this little gathering. I've so wanted to meet you.
Thanks.
Allow me to introduce myself. I am Vivienne, first enchanter of Montsimard, and enchantress to the Imperial Court.
And what's the Marquis's point in this?
Is that Marquis going to pose a problem?
His aunt is the Vicomtesse of Mont de Glace. Not a powerful family, but well respected. And very devout. Alphonse will be disowned for this. It's not the first time he's brought his aunt disgrace, but I'm sure it'll be the last. And after such a public humiliation, I expect he'll run off to the Dales to join the Empress's war effort. Either to make a good end, or to win back a modicum of self-respect.
Charmed, Lady Vivienne.
Ah, but I didn't invite you to the chateau for pleasantries. With Divine Justinia dead, the Chantry's in shambles. Only the Inquisition might restore sanity and order to our frightened people. As the leader of the last loyal mages of Thedas, I feel it only right that I lend my assistance to your cause.
No, okay, well, let's see. What are loyal mages?
You say you led the last of the loyal mages. Loyal to whom?
To the people of Thedas, of course. We have not forgotten the commandment, as some have, that magic exists to serve man. I support any effort to restore such order.
Okay. Do you support the Circle?
So you're in favor of returning the mages to the Circle, then?
Where else can mages safely learn to master their talents? We need an institution to protect and nurture magic. Maker knows, magic will find neither on its own.
Well, she does have a point, although it's not right to lock them up. The Circle does teach them very well with their magic, stuff that they probably would not learn very well outside of Thedas. Outside. So I'm not really quite sure what to do unless, like a university of some kind.
What's in this for you?
The same thing anyone gets by fighting this chaos. The chance to meet my enemy, to decide my fate. I won't wait quietly for destruction.
Okay.
Are you devout? What's your opinion of the Chantry?
I was a great admirer of the late Divine Justinia V. The Chantry, at its best, unites the disparate cultures of Thedas, and looks after its most vulnerable. Had she lived, Justinia could have accomplished so much.
Oh, yeah, probably.
You are aware that the Chantry hasn't sanctioned this Inquisition.
The Chantry is leaderless.
They're in no position to officially sanction anything. Besides, my dear, if there is one virtue the Chant of Light teaches us, it is forgiveness. Once the Inquisition has sealed the breach, I am sure the new Divine will not care in the slightest about official permission.
Okay. What powers do you have?
What exactly can you do for the Inquisition?
I am well versed in the politics of the Orlesian Empire. I know every member of the Imperial Court personally. I have all the resources remaining to the Circle at my disposal. And I'm a mage of no small talent. Will that do?
Well, I'm alright saying, yep, you're on.
The Inquisition will be happy to have you, Lady Vivian.
Great things are beginning, my dear. I can promise you that.
I hope you don't mind me bossing you around. You look like a woman who pretty much takes orders, gives orders, not takes them. Alright, so where is Vivian in this endeavor? Cassandra's over there next to Cullen. So, let's see, Varric, Liliana, Solus, Vivian's down there, and Josephine's down there. Oh, Cullen, what are you doing standing in the middle of all that? Do you want to get hit, sir? Well, you probably can handle a few punches. Hey, Cullen.
You there. There's a shield in your hand. Block with it. If this man were your enemy, you'd be dead. Lieutenant, don't hold back. The recruits must prepare for a real fight, not a practice one.
Yes, Commander.
We've received a number of recruits. Locals from Haven and some pilgrims. None made quite the entrance you did.
I'm glad I'm here.
I just hope I can help.
As do we all. It is enough that you would try. I was recruited to the Inquisition in Kirkwall myself. I was there during the Mage Uprising. I saw firsthand the devastation it caused.
Sir.
Cassandra sought a solution. When she offered me a position, I left the Templars to join her cause. Now it seems we face something far worse.
Well, let's see.
You left the Templars for this. You believe the Inquisition can work?
I do. The Chantry lost control of both Templars and Mages. Now they argue over a new Divine while the breach remains. The Inquisition could act when the Chantry cannot. Our followers would be part of that. There's so much we can... Forgive me. I doubt you came here for a lecture.
I like your enthusiasm.
No, but if you have one prepared, I'd love to hear it.
Another time, perhaps. There's still a lot of work ahead.
Commander, Sir Ryden has a report on our supply lines.
As I was saying.
Aw, I wanna flirt some more. Can we talk more, handsome?
Yes?
Let's see.
Is there anything I should know?
The Lord Seeker's actions are a mystery, but the Templars will aid us. They cannot sit idle while the breach remains.
Okay.
I'd like to know more about the Templars.
If you need insight into what the Order is doing now, I'm afraid I can't offer more than you already know. Anything else, I will answer as best I can.
Fair enough.
Why did you join the Order?
I could think of no better calling than to protect those in need. I used to beg the Templars as our local chantry to teach me. At first, they merely humored me. I must have shown promise, or at least a willingness to learn. The Knight Captain spoke to my parents on my behalf. They agreed to send me for training. I was 13 when I left home.
It's not very old.
13? That's still so young.
I wasn't the youngest there. Some children are promised to the Order at infancy. Still, I didn't take on full responsibilities until I was 18. The Order sees you trained and educated first.
What about your family? Did you miss them?
Of course, but there were many my age who felt the same. We learned to look out for one another.
Before coming here, my keeper suggested I avoid Templars. Do they do anything besides hunt mages?
Templars protect against the dangers of magic. Before the Order left the Chantry, that meant serving in a circle. They were also tasked with tracking apostates or fighting demons inevitably summoned by the weak or malicious.
What do you think of mages? Are they all a threat?
I've seen the suffering magic can inflict. I've treated mages with distrust because of it, at times without cause. That was unworthy of me. I will try not to do so here. Not that I want mages moving through our base completely unchecked. We need safeguards in place to protect people, including mages, from possession, at least.
You've lived in the Circle. What was a typical day for a Templar there?
Typical. The last time I was in a circle was right before it fell apart. Nothing was typical.
Before that, then?
Certain rituals require a full guard. A mage's harrowing, for instance. I've attended a few. Most of the time, you merely maintain a presence, on patrol or in the circle, ready to respond if needed. Mages pretend to ignore that presence, but they're watching you just as closely.
Do Templars and mages never speak to each other?
Some do, but Templars are supposed to maintain a certain distance from their charges. If a mage is possessed or uses blood magic, you must act quickly, without hesitation. Your judgment cannot be clouded. Of course, ignoring one another does nothing to foster understanding.
Yeah, well, it didn't stop you back in when I played the mage origin story in Origins. You had a very big crush on my mage. Yeah, he went through a really interesting arc with his character. First in Origins, he was like, I don't think mages should be caged up. And then Uldred struck, and he's like, we have to destroy all of them because they're all blood mages. And then he went to be Meredith's second command, where he was like, I understand the dangers of magic, but not quite sure I like how Meredith is treating people. And then eventually he just goes, Meredith, you're insane, step down. He's gone through a lot of ups and downs.
What does Templar training involve?
There is weapon and combat training. Even without their abilities, Templars are among the best warriors in Thedas. Initiates must also memorize portions of the Chant of Light, study history, and improve their mental focus.
Did you enjoy your training?
I wanted to learn everything. If I was giving my life to this, I would be the best Templar I could.
You were a model student.
I wanted to be. I wasn't always successful. Watching a candle burn down while reciting the Chant of Transfigurations wasn't the most exciting task. I admit, my mind sometimes wandered.
Do Templars take vows? I swear to the Maker to watch all the mages. That sort of thing.
There's a vigil first. You're meant to be at peace during that time, but your life is about to change. When it's over, you give yourself to a life of service. That's when you're given a filter, your first draft of lyrium and its power. As Templars, we are not to seek wealth or acknowledgement. Our lives belong to the Maker and the path we have chosen.
Ooh.
A life of service and sacrifice. Are Templars also expected to give up physical temptations?
Physical? Why would you? That's not expected. Templars can marry, although there are rules around it, and the Order must grant permission. Some may choose to give up more to prove their devotion, but it's not required.
I'm making him uncomfortable.
Have you?
Me? No. I've taken no such vows. Maker's breath. Can we speak of something else?
Aw, I want to see you squirm some more. It's adorable.
That's all I wanted to know. Thank you.
I'm sure you have other matters to attend.
Aw, I want to talk with you some more. I want to make sure that we're
Was
a
there
couple.
something you needed?